Welcome to this special presentation of Medfield TV. Tonight is Medfield Warrior football. We have traveled to Ashland, where the Warriors are going to take on the Clockers of Ashland. Ashland comes in tonight's contest with a 3-0 record, having only given up 6 points all year long. Medfield is 2-1 and looking to build on this new 2007 season. I'm Pete Kenny. I'll be the announcer tonight, and on my left here is Mr. Jerry Potts. You probably know him from Medfield Youth Baseball. Welcome, Jerry.
Great to be here, Pete. Classic matchup. It's a little too early with the first game of the season last week in the league, but it's a big matchup tonight. Looking forward to checking out the defense of Ashland and seeing how Medfield matches up.
Well, right now the captains are out exchanging handshakes and getting ready for the coin flip. And, Jerry, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a tough defensive battle tonight. I think two good defenses coming in tonight.
Well, it's going to be a classic matchup. You've got the size of Ashland, their line in particular on defense. So far this year, the offense hasn't really had to do a lot of work because the defense for Ashland has been dominant. And you're going to be dealing with, I think, a game where Ashland's defense is really going to set the tone on what Medfield can do.
I think you're absolutely right about that. And as we know, Medfield comes out with different styles of offense depending on what they have to do. A different setup completely.
Talking to Coach Slayson, it's going to be key for them to be able to counterpunch. I know he's expecting out of the gates that they're going to be focused on pounding the ball running and on offense and trying to control the line of scrimmage, and same on defense, stopping them from being able to move the ball. So, you could see them come out, try to establish the run, or you could, depending on if they've got 6 or 7 men in the box, move into the option or try to hit some of those short passes and open them up a little bit.
I think you might be right, and I do like the way the ball comes out of Luke Swain's hand. When he has time to set his feet, he's a very good passer.
And that's really going to set the tone. It looks like Medfield will be kicking off.
Yep, Andrew Reinhardt's out there about to set it up. I don't have the temperature here, but it must be, close to 70 degrees?
When I got out of the car, we're low 70s, but it's getting cool fast. Beautiful night for football, though.
Sure is. It looks like we're just about ready here. Want to thank our cameraman here in advance tonight. Dan Snyder's come up with us to handle the videography, and it looks like we're ready for some football. Ashland is standing back at their own 5-yard line, ready to receive Reinhardt's kick. And here we go. Ball's taken there about the 20-yard line. And down he goes, and it looks like the Clockers will be starting up at about their own 31-yard line or so.
Good job in covering the kick. Ashland had set up a wedge, but Medfield was able to break it and hold them at the 30-yard line.
So playing quarterback for Ashland tonight is Chris Nealon. He's a senior, only 5'9", 175 pounds. He's number 11 in your playbook. There's virtually no wind, and here we are for the first play from scrimmage. Nealon brings him out, split receiver to the left, man in motion. Medfield penetrates right up the middle. A short gain there. Pickup of 3 or 4, I'd say.
Medfield's base defense is a 4-3. Talking to the coach, they're going to try to stay in that. It gives them a little bit more flexibility to cover a short passing game, but if they start pounding it, they can move to a 5-4 or even a 6-man front.
That's going to be a difficult test for Ashland, I think, against the varying defenses. Nealon behind center, eye backfield, hit in the backfield and taken down at the 35-yard line.
Well, Pete, this is going to be a classic matchup, as I said earlier, of size versus speed. They've got some big players, 240, 250, but Medfield's quickness could give them a tough time tonight.
And Medfield has shown different styles of offense. They've been able to move the ball on the ground against Scituate. They're able to move the ball in the air, so we'll just have to see. And as I said, Ashland is coming in here 3-0, and this is, in fact, a Tri-Valley League contest. Okay, there's eye in backfield, 2 split receivers. He's rolling to his left. Quarterback's keeping it. Fires down the field. That's complete. Up around the 50-yard line. Taken out of bounds by Drew Donnelly.
It was a rollout. They had a blitz going, and they almost got to him. The timing was a little bit off, but the rollout took him out of the pocket and bought him a little bit of extra time. And it was a nice pass, good coverage, but a nice play.
Well, as we were talking about, the Ashland offense seems to be enigmatic, if you would. They don't stick with just one style. They attack in many different ways. Okay, got slot receiver to the left, split receivers to both sides. Eye backfield, kneeling, calling signals, looking to his left, fires flanker pass, which is complete, gets away from the first man and is hauled back down there. Looks like a pickup of about 1. I think that was Chris Ripp got the initial hit on him, number 7.
It looks like they're giving him forward progress of about 4-yard pickup, so it'll be 2nd and 6. Quick flanker screen. Medfield switched to a 5-man front there, and we're blitzing up the middle. Quick pass out to the side was a good call.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 from the 46-yard line. Nealon calling signals, that same formation, the 2 wide receivers. There's heavy pressure. That was a reverse pass. Complete. Heavy hit there. That was Mark Hostovsky for the initial hit.
A holding call, so that'll push him back 10 yards. And Medfield had that well covered. 3 defenders out in the flat, and the Ashland lineman, all he could do was grab some jersey.
Well, right off the bat, the Medfield defense is pretty fired up as they are really starting to come right up the middle there. And
they're blitzing. Deciding to put some pressure on, disrupt. Some of these are run blitzes, some of them are pass blitzes, but so far Ashland has been putting the ball in the air.
It's going to bring up a 2nd and 16 this time from the 46. As I said, here in the early going, Medfield's look pretty stout right there in the middle. Nealon calling signals here on the near hash mark. Got a flanker to his left. It's a reverse around to number 28. He's going around the left-hand side. He's taken down out of bounds there. It's a pretty good pickup, maybe close to 10 yards.
It's a good call. Medfield is pressuring up the middle and some getting around to the outside. Quickly is one way to keep you honest. To keep sending people up the middle, the flank is going to be open. Passes across the middle are going to be open, but you're also going to get a heck of a lot of pressure. And so far, Medfield's done a good job of getting some pressure up the middle.
I think in the early going here, it's been primarily Captain Mike Welsh, number 62, who's bringing the pressure. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 from the 46-yard line. There on the far hash mark. Quarterback goes back. He's looking, and he's going to get taken down there. Looks like Chris Ripp came in and took him down. They're going to call that an incomplete pass. Nice pressure by Medfield there.
Excellent defensive call. The pressure finally paid off. They've been sending people through, and just a great rush there. And also good coverage. And also, in addition to some pressure, there's some good coverage in there.
Harry Bedosian going back deep for get the punt. I believe it's Max Zuccarini with him. Number 22, is that Zuccarini? On the far side. Not a great snap under pressure.
Excellent punt there.
Ball's coming to settle in at the 10-yard line, and it's muffed there by Zuccarini down to about the 1.
For progress, they're going to call it down at the 1.
Boy, that was a close play. He muffed that ball, picked it up at the goal line, and barely got out of the end zone. That's a tough field position.
Well, obviously they've done the scouting because they kicked it away from Bedosian there, and we got one of the things that we're going to have to see tonight for Medfield to keep putting pressure on is they're going to have their special teams come through with some plays, and that's not a great way to start out.
No, it's a tough position to start out at. The ball is, in fact, at the 1-yard line. Okay, it's the diesel backfield. Swain's calling signals at his own 1. Wing tee off here to the left. Pitch goes to Donnelly, and he gets out to about the 10-yard line. That's a nice pickup on first down, Jerry.
You know, they went trips left, and they just had more numbers on the left-hand side for that. They were cutting back, were able to turn the corner on the outside. So great run, great call.
Drew Donnelly's coming off a big game last week, 142 yards in the ground, counted for 2 touchdowns, had a hand in all 3. He's a big kid. I think he's 6'3". He reminds me of Eric Dickerson, the way he runs, very upright. Brings up a 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. Wing T to the left. Hand off back there in the backfield. I think that's... looks like Mark Hostovsky.
Number. So far they've gone triple left and triple right, and first time they picked up 11 yards running to the strong formation. This time they ran against it, motioned and ran against it.
Mark Hostovsky is 5'11", 165-pound senior. Get an opportunity to carry the ball. Okay, we've got, this is the wing T offense. Swain calling signals from his own 15. There's the pitch to Hostovsky. Can't quite get around the corner. Clockers took care of that pretty well on the outside. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 from the 26-yard line for Medfield. They're able to get out from underneath their own goalpost, but it's nice to see a couple first downs here, Jerry, especially on this next play.
Absolutely. Field position is going to be key. There's a little bit of a breeze tonight, so that might make it a little bit hard, and that might have factored into the fumble, but it's going to be important for Medfield to get a little bit more field position here and see if they can pick up a first down.
As I say, it brings up a 3rd and 5 from the 26. Swain making sure the backfield knows what they're doing. Wing T, they're all moving to the right-hand side. There's a flag in the backfield.
Delay game. Seemed to be some confusion as they were coming up to the line. That's a tough penalty to take in that situation. When we were at practice yesterday, Pete, they're working a lot of situational football, and I think that's one of the things that's key in Coach Slayson in making sure that the team's ready. But got to get the play up, got to get a call in a situation like that.
You're right about that. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 from the 26-yard line. This is a big play for Medfield here. They don't want to have to surrender the ball. Swain calling signals under center. Moves back. Swain fires it down the right-hand side. And that is a completion up around the 22-yard line, out of bounds. I think that's going to be enough for a Medfield first down.
Well, I know our cameraman's going to get his earnest pay tonight with fakes and deception like that. They faked the sweep and a nice rollout pass. Thought initially it wasn't going to complete it, but a nice tip and great hands to pick up the first down.
So it's a 1st and 10 from about the 22-yard line here. Swain calling signals. Slot T to the right, lone back in the backfield. Nice burst right up the middle, up to almost the 35-yard line. That's Mark Hostovsky taking it again. And Drew Donnelly leading the way.
We talked about it, Pete, a little bit at the beginning. The size, the ability to run, the speed, and also deception. Medfield's offense, using the diesel and using the different formations. They've run sweeps out of it. They've run a pass out of it. They've run it up the middle. And that formation gives them the flexibility to do any of those things. And so far, they've done all of them well and pick up the first down.
That is, in fact, another Medfield first down. And, Jerry, you're absolutely right. But the funny thing about this Medfield offense, it's all about deception. Where's the ball? And Swain does a very nice job of it. He does the fake and continues faking once the ball's off. Does a nice job in this particular West Coast style offense.
Pete, you don't even see that kind of play action in a lot of cases in the pros anymore, so it's a lost start. Great to see.
Pitch goes to Hostovsky again. He's moving right, gets around the corner, picks up a couple there for a short gain on the far sideline.
And the quick pitch out to the right side. They're definitely trying to attack the outside so far. And so far that's paid some dividends.
It looks like the lead of the cheering section has just shown up.
I think the Vikings have shown up.
The shirtless
The ship is
students. Well, it brings up a 2nd and 7 from the 45. Swain calling signals. Wing T to the left. Lone back in the backfield is Hostovsky. He looks at down the middle of the field. Wide open. A tremendous grab up around the 30-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of, what, about 35 yards.
Well, he got the ball there. You know, the deception kept getting pass rush far away from them. What makes this fairly good and interesting is it started from the 1-yard line. So what could have been just a
Early
horrible way to start the game is turned into a nice sustained drive here. They're also taking time off the clock.
Well, it's great that we just talked about the misdirection, and Pat McClay was wide open, 10 yards free down the field. There was a little more air on that ball. It'd be 6 up on the board now. But
Rolling left, for a righty quarterback rolling left, now right up the middle.
that brought up a 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Medfield pounds it down. A few more. Pickup, short pickup, maybe. Oh, looks like close to 5 yards. The ball's actually on the Ashland 25-yard line. Sorry, I was looking at the scoreboard. It was incorrect. The ball is at the 25-yard line. And, Jerry, you're absolutely right. Medfield's moved all the way from their 1-yard line, and they have had a variety of ways to attack this Clocker defense. Swain calling signals, a wing T to the right. There's motion right to left. Handoff goes to Hostovsky. There's a hole. Bursts up over the 20-yard line. That's going to be close to another Medfield first down. They're really doing a nice job against this vaunted Clocker defense.
Well, what they've decided to do is get them moving. Keep the deception going, spread them out, and so far you're looking at about an 80-yard drive. So that deception, hopefully, they can continue all the way into the end zone here.
The ball's about on the 18-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for Medfield. There's a timeout on the fields. It's a timeout for Ashland. For more football talk, be sure to check out Inside Medfield Football, which airs Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock on Medfield TV. That's Channel 8 for Comcast subscribers and Channel 47 for Verizon. Also, for sports all season long, tune in to Medfield TV on Wednesday nights, beginning at 7 o'clock. That's where we air new games, and there's room for all ages and all sports. To get involved and get your favorite local team on the air, call Jason Daniels at 359-7521, the executive director, or just email us at medfield.tv. Info at medfield.tv. Clocker's trying to figure out how to stop this penetrating drive of Medfield. As you said, Jerry, has moved from their own 1-yard line, is now in the red zone.
Well, there are two huge benefits to this. First of all, they've taken about 7 minutes off the clock. So at this point in time, the Ashland defense has to be getting themselves tired. Great way to start the game. Great ball control, and also the way they've spread them out and continually changed up. It's got to be, having them think here. They can't concentrate on any one aspect of the game.
Okay, we got the wing T to the left as Swain's calling signals. Handoff goes to Donnelly. He cuts inside the tackle. Nice pickup there, right up the middle.
Well, there's no doubt the wing T, the diesel, as they call it, is kept all the options open, whether it's up the middle, out on the wings, passing game is opened up. They've got to have Ashland scratching their heads right now about how to cover this.
Well, I must say, before the season, I can't remember seeing this type of offense myself. I'm more of a pro fan.
It's a little bit of a throwback, but I think given when you lose someone like Lane from the team last year who could score virtually anywhere on the field, got to be a little creative.
Pitch goes to Hostovsky, pickup of a couple.
Looks like he's close to the first down.
They are moving themselves closer and closer. It's a tough perspective for us up here, but it looks like the ball's on the 10-yard line.
Get to about the 8.
Just inside the 10. It brings up a 3rd and 2 for Medfield. Wing tee to the right, motion right to left.
Rolls out again.
Sway keeps it himself.
Take it. Not sure if he would have been able to run for that. It looked like it closed pretty fast. But he did the smart thing, no turnovers, make sure you're in range to be able to go for it again. It's definitely 2-down territory this early in the game. You've come almost 90 yards, so you're going to have 2 plays here, and I don't think the rollout was a bad call, but they covered it very well.
They did, and that's, as you mentioned a moment ago, it's difficult with the quarterback moving to his left. With a right-handed quarterback, he doesn't have time to set up, and he just threw that one away, which was a safe play.
Yeah, no doubt, and they were covered in the end zone. Didn't see any white shirts open there, so only question was whether he could have tucked it and maybe picked up the 2 yards that they needed, but it was such a deep rollout that he actually covered a lot of ground. They're on the far hash mark, having to come all the way across the field, and Ashland's defense responded very well. This was a big play.
Sure was. We have 48 seconds left here in the first quarter. Medfield in control. It's 2nd down and 2 at the 10-yard line. Swain calling signals. There's Donnelly in motion, left to right. And it goes to Hostovsky, who was stopped. The Clockers come up big that time, able to snuff out the Medfield drive, and they will be taken over about their 9-yard line or so.
You never like to come away on a drive with no points, especially when you get down that far. But again, starting inside the 1-yard line, that's a heck of a drive. That's a heck of a drive and should set up some momentum here. They've got a long field, they have to move it. And after seeing the first series, how aggressive the Medfield defense is, Ashland's going to have a challenge here.
Yeah, and the Medfield secondary has been coming on the last couple of games. They've got a couple of interceptions. There's a drive right up the middle, getting up over the 15-yard line for the Clockers. 30 seconds left here in the first quarter. No score as of yet. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 from looks like about the 10-yard line. Excuse me, 2nd and 1 from about the 10.
After spreading them wide and passing a lot on that first drive, they went right up the middle on a fullback dive play, and legs got moving. He picked up 9.
Medfield's all bunched up there on the line of scrimmage. Nice penetration there.
He might have picked up the first down, but there was some good. Might be short. Tough to.
Talk about crowd in the line of scrimmage. Those linebackers are right on top of the linemen.
Absolutely. Looks like they might be a little short.
And that's going to be it for the first quarter. After 1 quarter of play, it's Medfield nothing, Ashland nothing, and Ashland has the ball. There's a couple for last week's scores. We had Holliston 29-0 over Millis around the Tri-Valley. Norton won 19-7 over Dover Sherburne. Mike Glassman getting 2 touchdowns. Bellingham defeated Medway on Saturday 23-14. And Medway was shut out in the second half. This weekend's games include 1 and 2 Dover Sherburne at Bellingham. 0 and 3 Millis travels to Westwood tonight. 3 and 0 Holliston plays at Medway, who is 1 and 1. And tomorrow is Hopkinton 2 and 1 at undefeated Norton.
So far, it's early in the season. The prohibitive favorite in the TVL this year looks like it's Holliston, and that game with Medfield later this year is going to be an exciting one.
Well, the Tri-Valley League's a pretty tough league, as I understand. Very well balanced.
First down, quick dive play. So they're going power on power here, and it'll be interesting to see if Medfield changes out of their 4-3, which is something the coach had said they might do if they started seeing Ashland's power game. And it looks like they are.
It's 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for the Clockers. Wide receiver to the left. There's an end around. It's snuffed out by.
Excellent play on defense. They read that extremely well. The defensive end did a great job of containing. You know, after pounding it up the middle, you might have expected that they'd start biting in the middle, that the ends would pinch a little bit too much, but he stayed at home and made a great play.
I think that was Captain Chris Ripp in there making the initial stop. Brings up a 2nd and 11 from the 24-yard line for the Clockers. They said that nothing to nothing so far. Medfield drove from their own 1-yard line to inside the 10, went for it on 4th down and couldn't get it done. Now the Clockers have taken over. Ball at 24, there's motion left to right. Big pressure out the middle by Medfield. There's a rocket pass. It's interesting, Jerry. It almost looked like the quarterback was hiding down behind his offensive line.
Well, Medfield's blitzing almost every play up the middle right now, and he needed to make a quick read on the rollout, and it did seem like the pressure was flustering a little bit. Medfield's bringing their linebackers within 2 or 3 yards of the line, just behind the linemen, and it's making it tough for him to make reads, I think.
Medfield defensive line features Mike Welch, James Thomas, Greg Kilcommons, Chris Ripp, and Andre Abahala.
On passing situation, Medfield's in the 4-3.
Brings up a 3rd and 11 from the 24-yard line. It's a big play for Medfield. Nice job. The ball is loose on the ground. Nice penetration by Medfield there. Looked like big Mike Welch, one of the quad captains, in there first.
And they're going after him. They are aggressive so far on defense, and it's paying off.
It sure is. The Clockers are about to kick off. To punt. You got Donnelly and Harry Bedosian back to return it. Gets away a pretty good kick to Donnelly. Picks it up around the 45-yard line. He's taken down just shy of the 40, where Medfield's going to take over with 9 minutes left here in the first half. Medfield's really acquitted themselves quite well today on offense and defense in the early going.
Yeah, and that 90-yard drive, again, you hate to come away with no points on it, but look at the difference in field position. Inside Clockers territory at the 41, a huge swing, and all really because of that sustained 90-yard drive.
You're absolutely right. And here they come. Medfield's got the wing tee to the left. Mark Hostowski in the backfield. Swain calling signals. He's going down deep for Pat McClay. He's got it at the 5. He's in for the score. Luke Swain to Pat McClay puts the Warriors on the board.
Well, Pete, as you had said last time, if in the first quarter, if he hadn't thrown with as much air underneath it, we probably would have seen that in the first quarter. Exact same play call, rollout left, and he was wide open behind the defense. Excellent play call.
So that was a 41-yard touchdown pass. Andrew Reinhardt's in the game now. He's the place kicker for Medfield. He's getting ready to add the point after. The snap is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Medfield goes up with 8:53 left in the second quarter, up 7-0 over the Clockers of Ashland. This is probably a good opportunity for mention for Inside Medfield Football for our weekly Players of the Game. Last week's Players of the Game was Harry Bedosian for playing a great 3-way game. He returned a punt late in the game down to the 10-yard line to set up a Medfield score, intercepted the ball, and also ran for 33 yards during the big drive. And also, of course, Drew Donnelly with 142 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. They are the Inside Medfield Football Players of last week. Reinhardt getting set to kick off from his own 40-yard line.
With 130-plus yards of offense in a little over a quarter, it's been an impressive way to start the game.
Reinhardt ready to kick off. And here we go. Nice kick coming down about the 8-yard line. Clocker's taking it there. He's got a nice wall. And Medfield stacks it up and takes him down just shy of the 35-yard line, where the Clockers will take over, trailing 7-0. Just mention here, it's very dark here on top of the press box. Very difficult to read my roster. Doing the best we can. Wouldn't you say, Jerry?
You know, but it is relaxing. It's on a Friday night watching some great football. It might be dark, but there are some stars on the field.
Very good. First down. There's another flanker pass. Donnelly wraps him up and throws him out of bounds on a very short pickup that actually looked more like a lateral reverse pass.
And he did a nice job of making the play on it, but what a great read in coming up and making that tackle.
Drew Donnelly has really come on strong this year. As I said, he's a junior, and he's the main running back for the team and plays both ways. It's going to bring...
Some big shoes to fill after Lane last year, but Donnelly seems to be the one that so far they're relying on to sort of anchor the offense and the defense.
Brings up a 2nd and 9 from the 34-yard line. Split receivers to both sides. Handoff coming right to left. Sniffed out there, and Andrew Collins throws him down with the rest of the midfield defense, just throws him back.
Yeah, you can tell a well-coached team. The players stayed at home. The ends were in their positions. This is the second time where they've tried to use a little bit of, speed to get to the outside. In both situations, the defensive ends have been staying at home.
41. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 12 from the 30. This is a tough position for the Clockers here at home. Nealon under center. He's straight back to pass, fires to the back, out of the backfield. He's got some running room along the right side. Oh, and he gets away. That's a big, big pickup of about 12 or 13. May well be enough for a first down.
Yeah, first, Pete, it did not look like that was going to open up. It looked like Medfield had it read well, but Ashland made an outstanding block out in the flat to open them up to pick up the first down.
I was going to say that downfield blocking made that play happen.
And it was a nice read on, after the play, he cut it inside the block, read his blocker well.
It's going to bring up a 1st and 10 from the Ashland 46. I backfield, wide receivers to both sides. Quarterback straight back to pass, looking left. It's a screen pass with men in front of him. Oh, gets by the first wave. Oh, a missed tackle there by Medfield. He's still moving out of bounds up around the 35-yard line. That was a very well executed play, Jerry.
Pete, I think the key on a play like that in Ashland and why it works so well is Medfield has consistently been blitzing up the middle, has been committing a lot of heat up the middle. And, that the way you can contradict it is you can either have a quick draw play and try to catch a seam in the defense, or a screenplay, and that screenplay was set up very, very well.
You're absolutely right. It's going to keep the defense honest because they've been cheating up because they're going with what's worked well for them, and that was a nice play.
It was a nice call.
Once again, I want to say it's, September 28th?
Yes.
It's September 28th, and we've traveled up here to Ashland High School, to Walker Field, and with 7 minutes left in the first half, Medfield is up 7-0. After having been thwarted on their 90-yard drive, they came right back to score on a 41-yard pass from Luke Swain to Pat McClay.
Pete, it's going to be interesting to see how the Medfield defense responds here. They really seem to have things under control, and a couple of big plays here have given Ashland some field position. If Medfield can hold on here, get back into playing some disciplined football here and hold them here, still, you like the chances.
Yes. Brings up a 1st and 10 from Medfield's 35-yard line. 4 wides here, lone back in the backfield. Nealon calling signals. Fires off to the right. Oh, and there's a slip. He's done the 20, the 10, and he's in for the score, and there's a penalty, unsportsmanlike, I presume, after the fact.
Yeah, that's what you with Ashland splitting them both on the right and the left. A nice quick strike, and Medfield was overly aggressive, and also will pick up the personal foul for unnecessary roughness in the end zone.
They'll tack that on to the kick. That was another well-executed play up to the opposite side of the last play. Medfield came up hard up to the line to stop that, and he was able to break free, and there was no one else left.
The same, yeah. You know, when you split them like that, you've got 7 in the box. You're going man on man out there, and that's gonna mean that the cornerback and the safeties are gonna have to do their job, and they're gonna have to make the play. And there was no one behind him, so once he broke that first tackle, he was gone.
I believe this is Dave Britton coming on to do the honors, and that is no good. No good. You know, Jerry, in high school football, the most difficult play in the whole game is the execution between the center, the holder, and the kicker. That is where you're going to have problems in special teams.
You see it in NFL football. So for kids that are not getting paid yet to do this job of getting your head handed to you, snapping the ball back, this is a tough synchronization to get down. Even if the kicker's got a strong leg, it's going to take all 3 of them to make it happen. So.
You're absolutely right. It does take 3 men to make the play happen, and it didn't happen that time. So Medfield holds the lead 7-6 here with 6.5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Well, one thing we're seeing, Pete, which I think is surprising to everyone, it certainly is to us, and I think as we were looking into this game, the Ashland offense opening up a bit.
Yes.
They've been passing a lot. The running game doesn't seem to have been working for them, but all of a sudden they seem to have found the screen pass, a quick pass out of the flat, seem to have found a little bit of range there.
Harry Bedosian back around his own 5-yard line to receive the kick, and I can't quite read the number on the near side. And here we go. The kick's away. It's a squibber right down the middle. Medfield picks it up around their own 15-yard line, where they are stacked up. Interesting, a kid who can kick the ball that far, he didn't want to kick it deep.
No, I think Bedosian has earned the respect of the league in the first few games. If you've been watching film, you'd figure start kicking it off from the Medfield 45. You probably could have put it in the end zone and decided to do the squib kick.
Well, as I said, Harry Bedosian had a great punt return last week. Late in the second half, it ran it down to the 10-yard line. Really put Medfield in great position to go ahead and solidify the win last week against Hopkinton. Well, it's a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Swain's calling signals, wing T to the right. There's that misdirection.
Nice read, nice cutback.
That was a nice cutback. He's coming off tackle and cut right back towards the middle. Looks like a pickup of about 6 or 7 yards. Look at the dust rising off the field, Jerry. It hasn't rained here in so many weeks.
I feel like we're in Texas. This is, of course, the mid-60s probably, not happening in Texas right now.
It brings up a 2nd and 4 from the 24-yard line. The wing T is off to the right now. Donnelly in motion to the left. Handoff goes right up the middle. Nice burst up the middle. Nice hole there by Medfield's offensive line. Was that Hostovsky again, number 26?
Twenty-two.
That may well have been Max Zuccarini. I'm having a little trouble seeing from up here. 5:35 left. That was enough for a first down. Ball's at the 35-yard line. Here's a pitch. Yeah. One more block would have set that one free. That is Mark Hostovsky. Really getting a chance to show what he can do here tonight. Medfield's been running primarily with Drew Donnelly. It's nice to see the balanced attack.
offense and defense is they rotate players in. They're using them all. So.
Okay, you got Donnelly and Zuccarini off here on the right-hand side. Swain under center. Donnelly in motion. Handoff goes to the second man through. That one was stacked right up for virtually no gain.
But you know, Pete, it's important that they continue to hammer the middle. That's what opens up the outside. Opens up the play action off of this, the rollout that led to the 41-yard touchdown. So, you know, the balance in the mix. Not every play is gonna break for 4 or 5, but the key is to keep them off balance, to keep them guessing, to use that deception to be able to open up lanes, to open up holes.
Well, as the coach told us yesterday afternoon, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, he's fine with that. Donnelly in motion. Swain rolling out to his left. Fires to Donnelly. He's wide open. It's going to be enough for a midfield first down. Looks like a pickup of about 10.
Swain's got a nice rhythm going, especially, you know, again, it's so hard to roll out to the left, but that's opening up a lot of, you know, off the play action, off of what they've been able to do on the running game. It opens up, softens up the flats. Outstanding job.
Well, as I was starting to say, as the coach told us yesterday, he hopes that they cheat in. He hopes that they try to thwart them at the line of scrimmage because Swain will make them pay. First down carry there, good for a couple. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 at the Clockers' 48-yard line. We got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the second quarter. I think Medfield like to continue to move the chains and maybe get some more points up on the board before halftime.
Yeah, they've been able to move the ball nicely, you know, almost every time they've had it. So you'd like to see some points here.
Power wing to the left. Swain keeps it himself. He's going to throw down deep. Pat McClay is wide open again. Couldn't quite come up with that one. Inside the 10-yard line, Pat McClay was wide open once again.
He kicked it in another gear. It looked like they had it read. And they had a couple of Clocker defenders back there, and he just kicked it in another gear, and it was open. It was a tough catch, but the ball, you know, was just a little bit outside of it.
Yep. A nice play by Swain that time to be able to get to the outside, set his feet, and really air that one out.
Rolling left and throwing, you know, on the run to the left is tough, as we've said, and did a nice job to get the ball hanging up.
Brings up a 3rd and 7 from the 48, and Medfield calls a timeout. 2:58 left here in the first period. It's an opportunity to tell you that Medfield TV is your local community communications resource. If you'd like to learn more about television and media, promote your organization, event, or cause, or have your own show, be sure to call the studio at 359-7521 or visit www.medfield.tv. Brings up, as I said, 3rd and 7 from the 48-yard line. Overloaded to the right-hand side here. Swain keeps it himself. He's looking down the field. Nice job. Hits the receiver just up shy of the 40-yard line. That was Captain Chris Ripp pulled that one in. Looks like they're going to be about a yard, maybe a couple yards shy of the first down. It's going to bring up a 4th and 2. With 2:30 left, it looks like Medfield's going for it. Peter Goomis coming into the backfield here. It's going to be a Medfield timeout here with 2:19 left in the half. Medfield up 7-6 with an opportunity to put some more on the board.
I got to admit, you don't usually see back-to-back timeouts, but in a play like this, when you're dealing with 4th and 2, this is a big pickup, and you've got some confidence in your defense. They're going to be able to hold Ashland from being able to drive with 2 minutes left. So The way they've been moving the ball, it's I think a good bet. 4th and 2, good chance to go for it.
I like your thinking, Jerry. And Medfield's really done a nice job, on offense. He said earlier they had 130 yards earlier. They picked up another 30 or so here. They're having a very productive game for themselves. I'm sure.
Actually about 40 on this drive so far. So they've been able to move the ball. Let's see if they can pick up 2.5 yards, 2 yards here.
And here we go. It's 4th down. They got that tight formation with the diesel. Everybody's cheating up on the defense. Donnelly's in motion. He's running right to left. And Donnelly's got the 1st down and a little bit more.
Really just, again, clever coaching, great execution by the team. They bunched them in, and then were able to put the man in motion on the outside, make the blocks they needed to seal it, and then a great read by Donnelly to cut it up.
He really is their main cog in the backfield, a junior running back. Drew comes in at 190 pounds, 6'3" out of the backfield. That's a lot of back to be taken down. We have another timeout on the field.
Ashland had to call it because all of a sudden Medfield went wide. They split them out, and they did double slot and spread them out wide. And I don't think Ashland was expecting that, and they tried to adjust to the wing tee, the diesel. That completely caught them off guard. So they used their timeout, try to get resettled, and figure out what they're going to do when Medfield spreads them out here.
Well, Medfield certainly has a time here to finish off this drive if they can. It's got to play smart with the ball, control the ball, just keep those chains moving. Ball's on the 36-yard line with 1:50 left in the second quarter, and here we come.
Back to the scrum.
That's what Coach Slayson calls it. Calls it a scrum because it's hard to tell who's actually got the ball. But looks like Donnelly's going to throw it. Oh, the ball's on the ground. That was a lucky break. That was a misdirection, and Donnelly was going to go for the halfback option there, but he just couldn't get the ball off.
Well, and when you hear those footsteps coming, you would not expect from a packed formation like that to do something like that. So they're definitely trying to work with some deception here. Tough situation, though. You're moving the ball without doing a play like that. So, not sure they need to do that. This is the spread formation that caused Ashland some problems earlier.
Swain back in the shotgun. He's looking to throw. He's got Bedosian wide open. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. It's interesting to see we got different receivers out on the field there. I said Abahala was on this side, and Donnelly was split all the way out on the far side. So as you said earlier, that Coach Nick Stevens and Slayson like to rotate their players in and out.
Donnelly spread out far left again. It looks like he's got man coverage.
Beautiful protection.
Needs to throw the ball. Needs to throw the ball. Held on to it just a little bit. The offensive line actually did a pretty good job of giving him a pocket. Outstanding coverage down the field. It looked like Donnelly that was going to be a mismatch, and it turned out that the Clockers did an outstanding job of pass coverage down the field.
Well, it's really too bad that it looks like Medfield might have to turn the ball over here with under a minute to go. And it's a tough call. What do you call on 3rd and 16? And the line did a beautiful job, as you said, creating the pocket for him. He had time to throw it, but I guess no one was open.
Well, they only had 3 receivers out, Pete, that time, and Ashland did a nice job of adjusting to it.
Okay, it's 4th and 18 from the 45. Lone back in the backfield. Wing to the near side.
Pooch punts it.
Beautiful, quick kick, pooch punt. It's rolling down around the 1-yard line, and Medfield's going to down that ball at the length of the football from the goal. That was a great call, Jerry.
The pooch punt,
Right.
I got to admit, it looked like if that's on turf, that's bouncing in. If that's at home, that's bouncing in the end zone. But, God's green earth here kept that at the 1-yard line. So what an outstanding play.
Interesting way the whole table has turned here. Now, the Clockers are desperate to get out from under the shadow of their own goalpost, and Medfield's defense has really been tough.
Yeah, and this is a situation that is dangerous. They can't even take a knee, so they're going to have to bust their way out of here. And Medfield's got it packed in.
Right up the middle, it looks like a quarterback sneak. I don't know if he even got out of the goal line. It is a personal foul. How can you go half the distance to the goal when you only have one football length?
Well, you know what? I guess if you're going to pick up a 15-yard penalty, that's the place to pick it up.
I'd go along with that.
One problem, though, for them is it stops the clock. And, that gives Medfield a chance here. You probably could have run the clock out in that situation. Now the clock stops. You got a chance to be able to stuff it back and get a safety here.
That certainly would be the ideal situation.
Well, and that's the lack of discipline on a play like that. You're hoping, you can run one play, not get the safety if you're Ashland, but the personal foul here causes the problem, and Medfield's using another timeout.
Yep, with 32 seconds left here in the first half. Medfield by a slim margin of 7-6. Wonder if the defense can come up with something special right here.
Be nice to see the defense contribute some points here. With a missed extra point, a safety here matters. That's a field goal difference, and those 2 points could come into play in a big way later in this game. So again, you say a 15-yard penalty, it shouldn't matter. But in this situation, stop the clock, and it got Medfield thinking instead of running out the clock. For the Clockers, the Clockers are not running out the clock here. They're going to have to deal with Medfield's defense at least one more time.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jerry, and that's a very important point that the clock did stop here when they were really under the gun there a moment ago, and now it's almost as if they have a little break, the chance to catch their breath, confer with the coaching staff, and see what they should really do. What is the best move here? To request copies of the games on Medfield TV, you want to call Jason Daniels at 359-7521. All these games are available on DVD. Oh, there's a hole right up the middle. That was a nice play at the line. The Clocker running back burst up to about the 14-yard line where he was finally hauled down by the secondary, but that was an excellent play.
Well, Pete, that's the downside of being overly aggressive. If there's a little bit of a sliver, if Ashland with their big line can open up just even a small crack, there's no one behind. So he picked up 10 before he even saw a white shirt.
Yep, you're absolutely right. The clock now continues to tick.
Run out on the first half here.
We've got 7 seconds left. I don't believe they're going to get a play off.
Yeah, they're going to be content to run it out.
So that was a very exciting first half of football. Medfield racked up about close to 200 yards unofficially, I would have to say.
Yeah, with a balanced attack. They ran the ball up the middle. They ran on the wing. They were able to also complete some big pass plays. The 41-yarder is the most obvious. I think in the second half they're going to have some opportunities to put some points on the board. There are receivers that are open, and I think at this point in time they've only got 7 points to show for it, but they have moved the ball.
They absolutely have. Pretty well-balanced game, I'd say. Medfield has a lot of yards, but the Clockers hung right in there tough. They had a very nice drive and a long touchdown play to go.
No doubt, Pete. I think the second half, our discussion around the Ashland defense. The Ashland defense has some coaching to do here and to make some adjustments because Medfield has found some weaknesses in that defense. They made the stops when they had to. Big plays there when after picking up the 4th and 2. You think Medfield has some momentum. A couple of plays, the halfback option that got stuffed. Fumble after that,
Yep.
Left some points on the board on the field for sure, but they've got to have Ashland thinking in the second half. There are a lot of weaknesses so far that Medfield's been able to exploit.
That's right. They really have had a very nice rounded game. They've thrown the long ball, they've thrown a few short balls, and they're really chewing it up on the ground.
No doubt.
So I think with the score 7-6 here at halftime that we will be back in just a moment for the second half kickoff. Okay, we're getting ready here for the second half. Here comes the Medfield Warriors out on the field. We're at Walker Field in Ashland. Medfield up 7-6 at halftime, and Medfield has really run up. So tremendous yardage so far in the first half, probably close to 200 yards, Jerry.
I think the story in the second half is going to be able to turn those yards into points. And I think they're on the verge of being able to do it. They found some weaknesses. If Ashland can make some adjustments, maybe they can plug some of these holes. But Medfield's capitalized on a lot of different ways. A power game up the middle, been able to get outside on sweeps, and has also used a lot of play action, pack formations, and then next thing you know, you got a receiver 35 yards down the field wide open. So, there's a lot to cover here, and I think the key for this second half is going to be for Medfield to keep the pressure on and turn some of these yards into points.
Well, I think the first thing they have to do is be able to sustain a nice drive here in the first drive, because Medfield will be receiving the ball in the second half. They lost the kickoff, or the coin flip, so they'll be receiving this half. And I think it's important that Medfield come out and establish their rhythm and move the chains, and then I think the points will come, as you said.
Well, I think it's going to be a little easier to get a better kickoff than when they're not kicking off from your own 45.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, kicking off from the 40, they're going to have a little chance to get to get a run back here, get some field position, and move down. Although, as they've shown, moving 90 yards off their one, they can move the ball.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be exciting football. We're just going to have to see what comes up. Looks like the captains for both teams are ready to come out here again, shake hands one more time. Guess that's a high school tradition.
Back in high school, I don't remember doing that in high school. So either my memory's faded or the team spirit, camaraderie has gotten better.
I believe the latter. You're probably right.
27 years, after I've been out of high school. So.
Oh, don't go start dating yourself, because I don't want to date myself. But the captains are in the middle of the field exchanging handshakes. As I said, Medfield will be receiving the ball because they kicked off to start this game. And this is the most points that the Clockers have given up all year. 20-0, 16-0, and 7-6. They've given up 7 already.
And 200 yards. I think that's the real telling thing. The ability for Medfield to move. And so the question is, did Ashland at halftime? They came out late from halftime, so if they used every minute of it to make some adjustments, they're probably going to need it. So if Medfield can continue to use the deception, to mix it up on the play calling, the pass run, we need to hire a statistician to be here, so to give us those numbers. But frankly, even a light would be
Yes.
be okay. But from looking at the first half, the balance between passing and running has been great, I think, really on both sides. Ashland
Yes.
pounded it out a couple times, then comes up, opens it up, and really the last drive they were able to do that in the air. So it should be an exciting second half.
Yes, well, as I've said, these teams seem very evenly matched. Ashland comes in with a 3-0 record, Medfield 2-1, and I think play for play, they're just about even here.
Yeah, that 2-1 is a deceptive one. They end up playing a Division 1A team, Lincoln Sudbury, that's leading their division right now. So they play 2 divisions against a pretty darn good team. So they started the season by playing some real metal.
Okay, it looks like they're just about ready to kick off. It looks like Tim Lynch, number 11, and Harry Bedosian back deep. I could be wrong about Lynch, but they're standing about their own 7-yard line. Looks like we're ready to go. And here we go. Another squibber. That was a dangerous play there by Medfield to pick that ball up as it was bouncing like that. I think that was Jack McDermott picked that ball up. Interesting how Ashland just does not want to kick off to the Medfield return man. Medfield's going to start out first and 10 up at around the 30-yard line. Take the wing tee to the right. Lone back in the backfield. Swain calling signals. Donnelly in motion. Fumble on the play. Oh, and it looks like Ashland came up with it. That is a tough break for Medfield here in the early going. That Ashland's going to be taking over at Medfield's 24-yard line.
Turnovers are never good, but inside your own 30-yard line, it's even more painful first play.
Well, it's certainly time for the Medfield defense to step up. Their defensive line is led by Mike Welsh. Number 52, James Thomas, is in there. 70, Greg Kilcommons. 7, Chris Ripp. And number 9, Andre Abahala up front. First and 10 at the Medfield 24-yard line. First play, handoff goes to the first man through. Stuffed right about the 34-yard line. No pickup on the play. Certainly has been a beautiful night up here in Ashland. Oh, virtually a full moon out here. I don't know if you saw the shot earlier, but we tried to get it for you in the first half. Thanks to our cameraman, Dan Snyder, who came up with me earlier today.
Pro set, high backfield option.
Good call, Jerry.
Oh, hitting out of bounds.
Well,
actually, from our angle, he was still in, but
Dick waving that clock to keep on rolling.
did a nice job, though, of shutting that down. It looked like it could have broken. They ran the option, made a nice pitch, and some disciplined defense there.
It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 from the 23-yard line. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but the Clockers kicker already has a 30-yarder to his credit this season. So Medfield is really going to have to toughen up here and try to hold him back. Brings up 3rd and 7 from the 21-yard line, kneeling under center. Handoff goes to the second man.
Excellent job on the defense. Close the gap fast.
Penetration there in the backfield, too. Harry Bedozian was hanging on to him in the backfield.
Yeah, conservative, play calling here to start the second half. 4th and 5. A little outside, looks like a little outside the kicker's range here. This will be about a 37-yarder.
Now, Jerry, you know a little something about kicking, don't you?
Many a year ago on this field, but we won't do the glory days stories yet on a 4th down. 4th and 5, they go to the power fumble.
Ball's on the ground, clicked up there by the.
Excellent job on the defense, and the miscue turns around.
So Medfield will be taking over the ball about the 20-yard line.
Well, that's a huge stand by the Medfield defense. To start the second half, you'd like to get some momentum on the first drive. You fumble on the first play. Your defense comes out and gives up 5 yards. That's an impressive stand.
That is great. Credit goes to Coach Eric Ohnberger there, too, because he is the defensive coordinator and has trained these kids to do exactly that. And here we go with the Diesel offense. Motion left to right. Ball goes to Donnelly.
Nice cutback. Looks like he picks up about 4.
That was Andrew Donnelly, the ball carrier. He was cutting it to the outside, and he cut it right back up the middle.
And the Diesel, not something you see a lot. I don't think the Pats are with Randy Moss going to be using that in the near future.
I hope not. I hope not. Brings up a 2nd and 6. That was a pickup of 4 on first down. Ball's about the 26-yard line. Diesel formation.
Oh, big hole.
Oh, there's a beautiful hole. I sort of was taken in by the fake. Driven up to close to the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 15. Is that number 27, Peter Goomis, carrying the ball?
Pete Goomis. He's a heck of a baseball player, too. Good athlete, tough kid. And he had a huge hole. But once he hit the hole, though, 6 or 7 yards he made on his own.
And here we come again with this tight formation we call the Diesel. Halfback 2 yards off the line of scrimmage. Ball's on the ground again. This Clockers throw down the midfield ball, carry around the 35-yard line. That's going to be a loss of a couple.
You hate to see that, Pete. They've got some momentum going, and it seems to be that the exchange just on the snap, Ashland seemed to have some problem. Could be some Vaseline on the ball.
Well, we certainly haven't had any rain. I must say I was a little concerned earlier in the week when I saw the weather forecast, but beautiful night here in Ashland. Full moon up above us. 7 minutes left in the third quarter, brings up a 2nd and 12 for Medfield at their own 36-yard line. Handoff goes to Donnelly. He's going to his left. He's got a seam. Oh, picks up close to 10 there. Got it just about all that back. Yeah, misdirection really is something. It's hard to tell who's got the ball, and it's showing up in the Medfield's play tonight.
Absolutely. It's a big third down. You came out, you had 12 yards, you pick up 10 of them. Now sitting with 3rd and 2.
Yes, Medfield wants to move the chains here, keep the ball on the ground. Swain calls timeout. It's going to be Medfield's first here in the third quarter. But I think this is a very important drive for them. If they can hold on to the ball, move the chains a little bit, they can really establish some dominance.
Well, coming out of this formation, I wouldn't be surprised in the near future to see some play action and sending a receiver. Right now, Ashland is maintaining their discipline. Their safety is staying back. Their corners are still playing their positions. But if Medfield continues to pick up 6, 7, 8 yards per run, at some point they're going to have to commit some more people into the box.
You're absolutely right. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 from the 46-yard line.
And they're bringing them up.
Nice misdirection. There's the hole. Looks like it's going to be enough for a first down.
Great running play. Offensive line did a great job of opening up the hole on the right side there.
As we've said, the offensive line consists of Matt Levin, Captain Andrew Collins, Captain Michael Welsh, Dre Lokcheski, and Riley Beath. Kevin Sewell's also in there, number 77. Doing a fine job up front. It is, in fact, a first down. They picked it up. Ball's on the 47-yard line of the Clockers, and Medfield is moving the chains.
They're starting to cheat up. At some point, that's going to open something up.
There's a pitch to Harry Bedosian running right to left. He picks up about 5 more. They can get 5 yards at every play, Jerry. It's going to be a long game for the Clockers.
The second half, you're hoping this is the first drive and you don't fumble on the first play. But this is the kind of ball control we were expecting to see in the second half. They continue to find some weaknesses. Their speed, their athleticism, and their deception. Frankly, the offensive play calling, the range of things that they've shown Ashland so far have been pretty impressive.
2nd and 5 from the 43. That Diesel once again. Here's the pitch to Donnelly. He's got some room. He works his way through the line. It looks like it's going to be enough for another Medfield first down. I was just saying, 5 yards of crack. That'll really keep these chains moving.
Yeah, it's still, you're looking at an offensive line that's playing against some bigger players. They're opening up holes, though, and you got runners like Bedosian and Donnelly hitting holes quickly and getting upfield. They're not dancing. Donnelly there, he's straight upfield, running north-south, and he's bringing some people with him. Strong runner.
Yeah, he's a big kid for a junior, too. There's a lot of good football left in that boy.
And they forced Ashland to call a timeout here. They have to be exhausted. This drive has been a sustained drive.
Well, last year Medfield beat the Clockers 21-6. So there's a lot of players in that field tonight that remember that game, and everyone feels they had a part in it and wants to change that.
Well, and again, a lot of this has to do with just getting on the field and executing, and Medfield has continually done that. Again, you'd like to see some of these yards turn into points, but this is the type of drive when you move it 45 or 50 yards, keep the defense on the field, chew up some clock, and right now, after opening up with some passes in the first half, they've done this all on the ground. Ashland's starting to cheat up. At some point, that's going to...
Handoff goes to the first man through, and he breaks it on the right-hand side. Peter Gumas down to the 15-yard line. That misdirection. Everyone is in the middle of the field. It was a regular scrum.
Play,
in the backfield. Hate to see that. That was a fine-looking play. That was the scrum that the coach talked about with us yesterday afternoon.
Well, and I obviously we don't have the telestrator for us to go back and be able to look at, where the hole took place. It did seem he was able to bounce it outside, and it might have been on the edge, and that's the reason he was able to get outside. But it's still a heck of a run.
Must be very demoralizing for Ashland to continually give up these 5 yards, 15 yards. But Medfield has been back. They have a 1st and 20 from the 46-yard line.
Well, you're seeing the linebackers are cheating up. Your safeties 7, 8 yards from it at some point.
There goes Donnelly running around the left-hand side this time. Picked up about half that penalty, about 5 yards on that carry. Gonna bring about a 2nd and 16 or so.
Well, I guess he picked up a little bit more. So we're looking at a 2nd and 14. So about a 6-yard.
Yeah. If they just continue that trend, I think they'll be in great shape. But we'd like to see some more points on the board.
Again, yards are great.
Right.
But you got to turn them into points, and you got to give Ashland some credit. They've been able to, bend that break so far. But at some point,
Swain keeps it himself right up the middle. That misdirection, there's so many guys in the backfield, it's really hard to tell who's got the ball. Luke Swain kept it himself that time and picked up another 5, 6 yards. Should bring up a...
down territory anyway. You're not limited when you're picking up, as you said, 4 or 5 on most running yards. On most running plays at this point in time, they're going to have a chance to at least have one more play after this, to pick up the 1st down if they don't.
Brings up 3rd and 9 from the 36. Diesel formation.
The quarterback's cheating up. At some point, that's got to open up.
There's a...
Dogan's going to lose yards. After talking about good north-south running, in that situation, he danced a little bit too much on the outside. And granted, there were pretty good coverage there. So
I'm just looking. Oh, and there's our favorite marching band song down there, Iron Man. The Medfield marching band plays that too at the games.
I'd like to say I don't remember when it first came out, but I do.
Well, I know when I played, the band wasn't playing heavy metal.
No.
Brings up a 4th and 11 here for Medfield from the 37-yard line. Swain back to pass. He rolled to his right. Fires down the field. Oh, Zuccarini was covered there. The ball's knocked away about the 29-yard line. Max may have had a shot at that, but he was definitely covered.
Well, and it did look like Patrick McClay was a bit open on a post pattern, a little bit deeper, and I'm not sure Swain saw him. But tough situation, picking up 4th and 11. So.
Well, considering the Medfield fumbled in the first play of the second half, defense held. They held onto the ball here for almost 9 minutes, and no harm done. Unfortunately, there weren't any more points on the board.
At some point, the pounding, though, has to be tiring out the Ashland defense. They've been on the field a lot, and they've been giving up some big plays. Excellent read. Good aggressive defense.
Oh, it looked like Andrew Collins came up with a ball, and it is Andrew Collins, quad captain Andrew Collins, came in, took the ball right away. Medfield is going to have a 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line, and that was an interesting, great play.
Pete, I have to tell you, I'm really impressed. Each time when you're looking at the defense, the players you got to tell they're well coached because they're exactly where they're supposed to be. They're not getting sucked in. The end's where he's supposed to be. The cornerback's coming up and making a play. That was stuffed 3 yards in the backfield, and it blew up right from the beginning.
Sure did. What a turn of events. Medfield comes back. 1st and 10 at the 32. They're in their diesel formation. Swain calling signals. Hands off to Peter. I thought it was Peter Goomis. Had me faked out that time.
Yeah, Swain kept it. He took a good hit there.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Swain's coming back from talking with Coach Nick Stevens and Coach Mike Slayson. They have a plan. There's a minute 25 left here in the third quarter. Medfield's up 7-6. They're in control of the ball. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 32.
I'm telling you, Pete, at some point they're going to make him pay. This could
And here it is. There's Swain to Donnelly. That's complete inside the 20-yard line. That's going to be another Medfield first down.
You know, you got a back like Donnelly that big with those kind of hands getting open. But, you know, you could see, and this is something that with that formation, it's forcing the linebackers and the cornerbacks. The only guy who's deep is the safety. He's down about 10 yards. But you got your linebackers that are only 4 or 5 yards off. They got him to cheat up that time, and it paid off.
Well, you made the call. They thought it was time to throw, and you're absolutely right. Looks like Goomis in the backfield with Bedosian and Donnelly. Swain pitches it to Harry Bedosian. He's following his blockers. Weaves his way up to about the 15-yard line.
Running there, and he did get the north-south. There was a little bit of dancing. Saw the hole open up, though, and did keep it going north and south.
I'm sorry?
That's the lowest it can go.
Okay.
I tried to go lower.
I think it looks great.
But I'd say, Pete, you know, other than about 2 minutes, the Ashland defense has been on the field this entire quarter. We're about 14 seconds left in this quarter. And this has been all Ashland's defense. And at some point, you know, that wearing down, continually running,
And here goes Donnelly, changing directions, cuts right up the middle. He's up over the 10-yard line. Close to the first down marker. Looks like he's got enough for first. It looks like it's down around the 6. And there's no time left here in the third quarter as the clock has just expired. They will change ends of the field, but it looks like to be a Medfield first down right around the 6-yard line.
Just impressive. You know, again, I think one of the things we had thought coming into this game is Ashland's defense, size, some experience. The fact they'd only given up 1 touchdown was going to pose a threat. I think one of the things in talking to the coach yesterday is he was emphasizing was he thought they could do some things with him. He thought if they could get him to overcommit, you know, which they've been doing, there'd be some gaps, there'd be some holes, their quickness, that they'd be able to get Donnelly out, and that's worked. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. And Medfield's been pretty careful with the ball, too, and I like that. Although there's been a fumble.
There was the fumble, and then they had the botched snap.
That's right.
Which he recovered. But you're right, and you know, and when you're running the ball, the number of times they have here in the second half, other than the one pass play, a couple of pass plays when they were long, the 4th and 16, you know, being able to hold on to the ball is going to be key. So.
Well, I think that the big key right here is to put some points on the board. Okay, we're talking it all night. They may have controlled the ball all night long, but you've got to be able to score. It is still a 1-point game here now at the start of the fourth quarter.
And, you know, I would expect, Pete, that they've got so many things right now that they can do, and they've shown that they can do. You know, that the Ashland defense at this point, 9 minutes on the field in the third quarter there, they've got to be tired, and Medfield doesn't look like they're going to be letting up anytime soon.
So it's 1st and goal from the 5. Goomis is fighting for yardage. Broke over the right tackle. Good for a couple. That's Peter Goomis carrying the ball once again. He's carried the ball quite a bit tonight, showing that versatility in the Medfield squad.
He's looked good. He's hit the holes. He's run hard. A tough guy. A tough running back.
That looked like it was a pickup of no gain on that last play.
Second and goal at the 5.
Here we go. Donnelly on the left, Bedosian on the right, Goomis in the backfield. Fighting for it down inside the 5-yard line.
You know, here's where this formation gets a little bit tougher, Pete, because when you've got more of the field that they've got to cover, you know, when you're packing all your players in this tight, and you're in your second and goal at the 5, you're packed in anyway.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
a lot harder to use this type of formation to create some problems.
You can't move it.
We'd like to move the ball at this point in time, but unfortunately we can't.
No, that looks like it's been there for some time.
We're going to have to deal with that. So.
Well, we have 9:46 left. Swain across the field, conferring with the coaches, saying what they're going to do here on 3rd and goal from the 5 because they want that 5 yards. They really got to put some more points on the board.
Yeah, and I think with the amount of yardage you've been able to get so far, I don't think a field goal. I mean, they might end up kicking it, but I think you want 7 here.
I think so too. I think it's 2 down territory.
Back to the wing tee.
Wing tee, power to the right. Swain hands off, moving left to right. Bursts in, he's down to about the 2-yard line. Does Drew Donnelly carrying the ball. It's going to bring up.
I think it's a consideration. You know, you're going for it here.
It's 4th and goal from, it looks like about the 1-yard line. I was going to say it was a little difficult that last play. They're so far away to catch all the numbers, but it was Drew Donnelly carrying, fighting for yardage. It looks like the ball's on the 1-yard line as far as I can tell. If you look at, and here comes the play. Swain calling signals. Hands to Donnelly, puts his head down, and he's in for the touchdown.
He stuck his head down, and there could have been 11 clockers on him, and he was going in.
I believe you're right.
It was a heck of a run.
Nice drive by Medfield offense, too. Where do they take over? About the 36, was that right?
Yeah.
36-yard line?
Recovery. And, you know, again, an extension of it where they really have dominated another 2 minutes of keeping the Ashland defense on the field. You know, virtually all of the 3rd quarter and right off the bat here in the 2nd quarter. It looks like they might be going for 2 here.
Well, I think the offense here really ought to thank their defense and Andrew Collins for coming up with that loose ball here a couple of minutes back. And you're right, Medfield's going to go for 2. 2 backs in the backfield. They got the wing to the right. Swain goes back, keeps it himself. He's looking to throw it, and it is complete. There's a 2. Swain rolling to his right, fires into the end zone.
Fantastic catch. He laid out completely.
You know, I did not want to talk about the 2-point conversion earlier because I was concerned that Ashland would be taking the 2-point conversion, but that conversion puts Medfield up 15-6.
Yep. You know, and that's why they did it.
Absolutely.
The 1 point here, the difference between a tie game and making them, you know, go the distance, get a 2-point conversion and some other scoring. So, you know, really an impressive drive and an outstanding call. You know, you've been pounding at him.
Absolutely.
They have to be expecting it. It was just a matter of whether or not he was going to be able to reach out and get that ball. Great catch. Absolutely great.
So Medfield goes up 15-6 with 8:55 left here in the 4th quarter. And now we need another big Medfield defensive stand because the Ashland offense, as Jerry, you pointed out, has been sitting on the bench virtually the whole 2nd half. Reinhardt looks like he's ready to deliver the ball. And here we go, and he squibs it. Picked up around the 20-yard line, running it right up the middle. Pretty good return up to about the 40 where the Clockers are going to take over with just under 9 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. Medfield up 15-6.
I'm not sure Reinhardt was meaning to squib it. You know, he had some deeper kickoffs down to the 10-yard line, and they definitely had a little better starting position at the 40 that pretty much had been starting about the 30 on the kickoffs earlier.
Ashland comes up, their wide formation with 4 wides. Looking left, he's wide open. Nice grab there. Down to the Medfield 40. There's a quick pickup of 20 right there. That was a nice grab by Tom Bolton. Chris.
They spread him out on a double slot, and Medfield's still trying to put pressure up the the middle, but there was soft coverage out on the
There certainly was.
receivers, and he was wide open.
Okay, it's a 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Heavy set to the left. Pitch goes to the left. He's hit and dropped there in the backfield. Nice penetration there by Adam Opiella. 6', 220 junior. Sniffed that one out and took him down. Gain of no yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 from about the 40-yard line.
I'd be surprised if Ashland continues to throw the ball here. They have not been able to gain much yardage on the ground.
Well, they need 2 scores in order to surpass that 15 on the board, and Ashland's taking that timeout right here. For more football talk, be sure to check out Inside Medfield Football, which airs Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock on Medfield TV. That's Channel 8 Comcast and Channel 47 on Verizon. Have a fun new show coming up this week, debuting on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. 7:49 left here. Double. Kneeling back to pass, looking right again. Chris Warren in there on the coverage, number 24. But it looks like they're hitting that seam underneath the linebackers. It's a little...
Yep, absolutely. And that's something that Medfield's going to have to be aware of, because there are going to be more passes coming.
Absolutely.
Ashland doesn't have the time to grind it out here and with 7 minutes plus left.
No, they absolutely don't. The Medfield defensive secondary's picked off balls each of the previous 2 games. Be a great opportunity for them to take one right now and turn this game away. Put it away.
4-3.
3rd and 10, kneeling back to pass. He's under pressure. He's looking left. He's throwing left. It's tipped there, in and out of the hands of the Medfield defender. That was Andrew Collins, deep in the secondary. Got his hands on that, knocked that ball incomplete. It's got to bring up a 4th down.
Well, they dropped and they recovered downfield too. The secondary did a nice job, but Collins read that well. Back in the day, Stickum would have helped there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I know they've banned that as one of the illegal substances, but back in the day when football was football. What's a little Stickum with friends? That's what I say. So.
A very heads-up play there by the quad captain to get his hands on the ball.
Delay a game.
It looks like it is. In fact,
it's a tough situation. You're dealing 4th and 10. You got to get the play in.
Absolutely.
You got to get it run. And that's just good situational football to be able to get up there, and they didn't do it.
So you think they'll go with an intermediate length pass at this point?
I don't think they can afford it. Medfield, it might give them that intermediate catch, but they tackled extremely well. So we'll see. They've got a slot left, split right.
Quarterback back to throw. He's got a man open in the middle. That ball was a little low. It was pretty much uncatchable. He did have, but the thing that worries me is Ashland, he had the time to throw the ball. He had a lane to throw the ball. He just didn't get it to his receiver.
He did a nice job of stepping up. There was pressure coming from the outside, and he did what we see great quarterbacks do. Brady's of the world. We just saw it there. He took 2 steps up, avoided that rush that was coming from the outside. This plays perfectly into what Medfield can do, which is control the clock, given what they've been doing, line up in the diesel.
Well, this is great. Medfield getting the ball back there at their own 44-yard line. Pitch goes to Donnelly. He's sweeping to the right. He's got the shirt of his blocker out front. There's Andrew Collins, 10 yards downfield throwing blocks.
I was just going to say, Pete, that was, that's the difference of a 3-yard play that gets stuffed. If he gets a seam, that's gone.
Absolutely.
They're pressuring up there, but you got Collins down the field making blocks. If he's able to get through that seam, that was a little bit slow developing, but
I think that's why Andrew Collins is one of the captains. Knows how to play the game. Brings up a 2nd and 8 from the 45-yard line. We're going diesel from the far hash mark. Swain calling signals. Hands off to the first man through. Pick up a... Yep, Peter Goomis picked up 4 or 5 there. Looks like it's going to be a 3rd and just about 5. Long 4. Here we go again. The ball's at the 45-yard line. It is, in fact, 3rd and a long 4 from the 45. Actually, the ball's on the 48. Hands off again to the first man through as he just plows forward. These are those same Ashland defenders who are on the field for the entire 3rd quarter.
You got to give them credit. You know, they were blitzing up the middle, and they put some pressure on. At this point, I think you got to kick the ball away.
I think so.
Fourth, it doesn't. No, they're going for it.
It looks like Medfield's going to go for it on 4th and 2.
Pooch punt. There we go. You're right. Wouldn't be surprised to see that pooch punt again.
Wing T to the right. And you're absolutely right. Goomis kicks it down the field. Nice job. It's going to bounce around the 10-yard line. They're not going to be able to pick it up. Medfield downs it. Awesome.
You know, and again, what a great athletic play to have someone who can line up, make a precision punt like that in a situation like that. Excellent. And you know, on the other side of it, you gotta wonder, Ashland, after seeing it the first time, 4th and 2, why they don't have anyone back. You know, even one safety playing a little bit deeper.
Well, it's wonderful that Medfield has the ability to have a kid who could kick the ball like that.
Well, you know, you got to also give. I mean, again, I keep harping on the coaching, but you can see why a team makes it to the Super Bowl last year with some great coaching. You know, look at the prevent we got going on here. You got your safeties and corners lining up about.
Oh, helmet to helmet. Takes him down about the 26-yard line. Nealon was back to pass, and everyone was covered. He had to take it himself and try to run it up the middle.
Midfield's dropping their corners and safeties way off. Their safeties are about 15 yards off on that play.
Yeah, Bedosian on the
Russian 3. Oh, might be bringing in.
They're tackled in the backfield. That was a nice job by Pat McClay coming up there.
Happy to let him do that. You know, if they want to run for a few yards, pick up the first down, that's fine. But you know, at this point in time, Ashland needs 2 scores. So
Absolutely.
Medfield's going to give up those softer routes. They're going to give up the running plays up the middle. Thank you. Please run it.
So I was saying Zuccarini is back deep with Bedosian and Drew Donnelly here in the secondary. Pat McClay is in there. Nealon comes to the line. He's calling signals. Handoff goes to the first back through. Oh, nice cut there in the middle of the field as he runs out. He's dragged out from behind by Andre Abahala. That's a big Ashland first down up to the Medfield 47-yard line.
Well, Ashland realizes right now Medfield's got 3 men down. They're running a 3-3.
Yeah.
They've got zone coverage, 3 over the top. So as of right now, you know, the run is there. The question is if Medfield's going to make the adjustment.
It's 1st and 10 from the 47. Split receivers to both sides. Handoff goes to the first back through.
He double teamed and he made that play. That's a heck of a play.
That was Abahala once again. You know, he's the punter as well. Haven't seen him punt a ball all day.
Well, when you've got an offense moving the way they have, and they've gone for it in most situations, the only punting we've seen is from their halfback.
Absolutely. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard lines. I-backs in the backfield. Handoff goes to the second man through. Another big piece of yardage there. Picks up about 8 on the carry. That was a nice job.
You know, as long as they keep running the prevent the way that they're running it, the running plays are going to be there. You know, you've got a 3-man front.
Right.
You've got your linebackers back. You know, at that point in time, they're inviting him to run.
But Jerry, the point is there's 2:54 left. They don't have time to run 5-6 yards every play. They have got to score and then get the ball back and score again.
Of course, with that injury, stopped the clock, and it also gave them the time to come out and make the measurements. So.
We're going for a measurement here. Yep, about a yard to go. So I say 2:54 here left. Medfield up 15-6 on the road here up at Ashland High School. Walker Field. Medfield's had quite a bit of time off too. They haven't played since last Wednesday night when they played Hopkinton to a 22-10 victory. Right up the middle, they're good for a couple there. It's enough for a first down.
You know, it stops the clock, and that's probably the bigger issue. You're not worried about the first downs, them having to score 2. You're more worried about it just stopping the clock for a couple seconds, letting them get back on the field. So, play clock is moving again.
Yep.
They're back to their base defense now. I realize that.
There's a heavy hit laid on there by Chris Ripp. Really took a shot at that running back. Once again, another pickup of 5 or 6 yards. Generous spot. 2:20. 2:27 left here in the fourth quarter. Medfield hanging on to their 15-6 lead, as I said, on the road.
Back to the 4-3. Looks like they're bringing some pressure up the middle.
Nealon hands to the first man through. He gets by the first guy. First man, but he doesn't get by Andre Abahala, who throws him to the ground. Looks like it's going to be enough for a first, just shy of a first down. Up, it's going to be a first down. 2:22 left here in the fourth quarter.
So Ashland has taken advantage of the prevent defense that Medfield went with for most of this series. They've now gone back to their traditional 4-3. Actually, it looks like they're packing even more in.
Wide receivers to both sides.
Nice.
That beautiful job. That was on the blitz.
Came right up the middle and got his hands up too. It wasn't just putting pressure on. He got his hands up, cut down the passing lane.
That was an interesting play. You'd think at this point that he'd be back at deep coverage, but Coach Ornberg decided, let him fly, bring him on the blitz. Nice job by Donnelly. He's a very heady two-way player for the Warriors. Two minutes and 5 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Wow. Andrew Collins, that's why I said before, he's the captain. He really came from his linebacker spot and didn't give him a chance to breathe.
You know, Pete, I have to say, to get that kind of a jump, the quarterback has to either be going on the same count. I don't know if Ashland's had problems with a legal procedure but it seems like he's timing that more than, seems like he knows the count more than the offensive players know it. He was through that hole and in the backfield.
Before he ever took a step.
There were a few fans who thought he might have been offsides.
Well,
from our angle, though, it just looked like good timing.
It did. From up here, it looked like good timing. All right.
Hey, if we can't see the numbers, we certainly can't see if he was offside. No.
Both teams here are meeting with their coaching staffs, trying to figure out what to do. Although Ashland has been able to move the ball from, I guess, to their own 40 down here to Medfield's 25-yard line, they haven't been able to put 8 points on the board.
No, and again, this is a more of a speed bump defense, at least for the first part of this drive. Now they're dropping into their traditional defense. But at the beginning, it was just to try to slow them down enough and burn some clock. Once they realized that Ashland was going to continue to run the ball, now they're back to their strong form. He moved. That's offsides.
That's illegal procedure. It's going to put him back 5 more. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 17. What do you throw on 3rd and 17?
Well, you know you're going for at least 2 plays. So what you really need here is more like an 8 or 9 yard if you're Ashland. You don't have to get it all in one play.
You're right.
But one thing for sure is the speed of the Medfield's defense caused that offsides, that illegal procedure.
Slot receiver to our side. I-backs in the backfield. Here comes Johnley. Screen pass the far side. It's complete.
Major holding, which they didn't call.
Gets the ball up to about the original line of scrimmage. They got back 5 there. Should bring up a 4th and, what do you call that? 12? 4th and 12? Long 11 yards. Clock still continues to tick. We're down a minute 22 seconds. As that we've said repeatedly, they have to score twice.
This is the game, Pete.
4th and 11. Medfield's got to stop him. Slot receiver to the left. The ball's on the ground. Nealon's scrambling for his life. He's being chased by Kilcommons.
Oh, what a tackle. What a tackle.
Beautiful tackle there by the Pat McClay. Came up and put his shoulder down, took him out. Medfield's going to be taken over with 56 seconds. Fellas, I think that should just about do it.
Well, that was a perfect read on the defense. You know, Ashland needed to make a big 4th down play there, and there was just too much defensive pressure there, and they read it perfectly.
Well, Pat
made the play.
Well, Pat McClay, he's also one of the quad captains. Showed us just there why he's the captain. Put his shoulder down and really took that running back out. Give Medfield back the ball with 55 seconds. Here's a new formation we haven't seen. Let's protect the ball. Swain takes the knee as the clock continues to tick down to 50 seconds here. They might get one more play off.
Well, Pete, I got to say, Medfield came in with a plan. They were going to take what Ashland gave them. If you look at it, looked almost like 2 completely different teams. In the first half, they were able to throw the ball. They were able to move the ball at will. In the second half, they decided we're going to run and you're not going to stop us. They rounded out. It had to be over 350 yards of total offense, I'd say, for the day. That's a guesstimate, but they moved it consistently. Time of possession was dominant by Medfield today.
Oh, definitely.
And you won't necessarily see that on a 15 to 6 score. How dominant the offense was, but they were. Field position, great game by Medfield.
Great game by Medfield. Medfield now stands at 2-0 in the Tri-Valley League. 2-0 in the Tri-Valley League. 3-1 overall. An excellent job by both the offense and defense, and nice job coaching these boys tonight. As you alluded to, Jerry, the coaching, a lot of thought went into this, and I think the boys executed beautifully.
Yeah, well-coached team means the players are in the positions they're supposed to be. The defense, 1 or 2 the screen passes, yeah, maybe, but other than that, they were, you had your ends, defensive ends that were staying in their position, making sure to keep it contained. Really a great discipline effort there, and you had so many people contributing on the offense. We could spend 20 minutes just going over that, whether it was Bedosian or Donnelly or Goomis running up the middle or Swain with his arm. There was a lot of game balls to go around today.
I think so. I'm going to have to spend a little time thinking about this, and we'll let you know who the stars of the game were on Inside Medfield Football on Wednesday.
You have a tough job.
Terrible job.
I wouldn't want to do that. The pressure's on for you, Pete.
Well, I tell you what, for Jerry Potts, Dan Snyder, our executive director of the Medfield Channel, Jason Daniels, I'm Pete Kenny saying thanks for watching tonight, and we'll see you next time right here on Medfield Medfield TV for Medfield Warriors football. Final score once again, Medfield 15, Ashland 6. It was a great game. We'll see you next week. Good night.